In this video, we'll take a look at some exercises to help practice concepts of routing. So in this exercise, we'll view the forwarding table on your Juniper device. We'll also take a look at configuring an IP version 4 static route, and then we'll look to configuring an IP version 6 static route. We'll then take a look at configuring RIP, and finally, we'll look at how you can configure OSPF on your Juniper device. Let's get started. So in the first exercise, what I want you to do is go into your Juniper device and view the forwarding table of the Juniper device. Now pause the video and perform this exercise. To view the forwarding table on your Juniper device, you can use the show route forwarding table to display that forwarding table. And this is a list of the active routes on the device itself. So for instance, you can see here that I do have an active route to the 12 network as a destination network, and I'm going to send the packets out my fast Ethernet 0/0/1 to reach that 12 network. Now let's take a look at how to configure a static route for the 192.168.4.0 network that forwards traffic to the next hop of 10.0.0.1. Pause the video and perform the exercise. To configure the static route, the first thing I need to do is go into configuration mode with the edit command. Then I can use the set routing options command and specify a static route of 192.168.4.0. So that's my destination network. And if I have any packets for the 4.0 network, then send those packets over to the next hop of 10.0.0.1. For this next exercise, you're going to configure an IP version 6 static route for the 2001:0003 subnet that forwards that traffic to the next hop of 2001:0001:2222. Now pause the video and perform this exercise. Alright, so to configure an IP version 6 static route, let's use our set routing options command. And with the routing options, we're going to specify an IP version 6 static route of 2001:0003:0/64 for the prefix, and then we'll reference the next hop of 2001:0001:2. Now in this case, I've already got an IP version 6 address configured on my system, so I'm able to configure that static route. In the next part of this exercise, I want you to configure RIP on your router for each of the interfaces for your Juniper device. Now pause the video and perform the exercise. To configure RIP on my router, I'm going to use the set protocols command and specify that I want to create a RIP group called RIP-group that is going to contain the interfaces that I have on this device. So it's interface FE0/0/0.0. So that's the first interface that's going to get added to my RIP group called RIP-group. And then I'm going to go and add a second interface to that group. So it's going to be 1.0. So I've got my two interfaces in that RIP group. Now I'm going to specify the RIP protocol that I want to use. So I want to use the set protocols RIP. I'm going to receive version 2 messages. And then also what I'm going to do here is I'm going to specify that I want RIP to send out broadcast messages, which makes it backwards compatible with RIP version 1. And that's it. In this final exercise, I want you to configure OSPF on your router. Now pause the video and perform the exercise. To configure OSPF on our router, the first thing that we're going to do here is use the set protocols OSPF command. We're going to specify the area of 0.0.0.0 and then add the interface that we want to enable OSPF on. So we're going to do 0/0/0. And then we'll do the same thing for each of the interfaces. In my case, I have one other interface. If I can spell properly, protocols OSPF area 0.0 interface 0/1. So now I've enabled OSPF on both interfaces. So in this video, you get to practice some of the concepts related to routing on the Juniper device.